All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Akunda Oluwatoyosi. I'm also known as Banks, and I'm the CEO and founder of Goleli Deals, and also one of your lead analysts that has always been taking the Monday live sessions and all. So let's get started. So first off, you guys can see that gold has been on a bullish trend. First off, we had our all-time high, which was basically here, but we had the all-time high. It got broken. That all-time high got broken. So now that we've seen that the all-time high got broken, now we already know that we're expecting market to continue to like push up price. And I need you to be very good at what you're doing. You need to be able to see the market like a witch. You need to be able to do your analysis, spot multiple entries, and become very, 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 very skilled. Now, it might take time, definitely. Nobody's disputing that. But then eventually you'll get the hang of it. So now that we've seen that gold has been on a bullish trend, personally, the moves that I'm expecting, it has already done it. If we're being honest. But then, nonetheless, even though it has already done the move, we're still able to like spot fresh entries one way or the other. So first off, we would go to like the 4-hour time frame. Now, the 4-hour time frame is responsible for you to see like the overall trend of where the market is headed. Now, once you check the 4-hour time frame and then you spotted your entries on the 4-hour, it will be your sole responsibility to come down to a smaller time frame that is not the 4-hour time frame to then mark out entries. So now broken past the all-time high that we are looking at. It has broken past the all-time high that we are looking at. Now we would now be moving into marking out entries. Now we've seen that it's continuation of the buy trend. I was saying on Friday at the book camp that gold is not going to sell. Now it's good. What it does is that it traps people. There's something called trapping. Trapping means that it's going to create like a falsified move just to make sure that there are a lot of people on that particular setup, and then it continues to like push up price. And then also there are lots of fundamental news that are involved for you to just like expect like a bullish trend on XAUUSD. So these are like the things that you need to be well grounded in the right knowledge. You need to be very, very good. So once you're very, very good, you begin to like, spot multiple setups and all. Now, it doesn't mean you're perfect. There's nobody that doesn't have losses. There's no business that doesn't have its own risks. Forget, don't let anybody bullshit you online. People do businesses outside of the Forex space and then they still, one way or the other, find themselves incurring losses. But once you understand what is involved, it sort of would help you and guide you on how you can navigate like the cost of getting like good setups. Now, one thing that is very, very important that you should never jeopardize on is actually the trend. The trend is always and would always be your friend. Once you can, see the overall trend and then where the market is headed actually per time, it would also help you to, grow and scale and all of that. So now, once you've already seen that, sorry guys, hold on a moment for me. You've already seen that, yeah. Now you no longer have an issue with the trend. Now we've already. So for me, right now, it's not like as if you're not going to have complex pullbacks on XAUUSD, right? It's not like as if you don't have complex pullbacks at all. So you would have sell opportunities, but for me, one of the main things that still stand out is still the buy setups. So we need to, make sure that we are able to like spot buy trades and all of that. So we're able to like spot buy setups and mark out multiple entries and whatnot. So the first thing that we'll be doing right now is now going to a smaller time frame. So always remember that you must go to a time frame. You must go to a time frame that is divided by 2, which is first of all, you're already on the 4-hour. So now, sorry, you're already on the 4-hour time frame. Now on the 4-hour time frame, we'll now go to a time frame that is divided by 2, which is now the 2-hour time frame. Now, once we go down to the 2-hour time frame, we'll see that okay, now we have a zone here that market basically pushed up price from breaking the recent all-time high. Now that we've already mapped out that, what next we will then do after marking out that high, what next we're going to do is, after marking out that high, the next thing on the agenda will be to then come to mark a continuation trade, which means at some point we would expect markets to push down price. Say we're expecting markets to come to this area here, and then, one way or the other, come up, then go back, maybe, then push down price here. Now, upon market pushing down price here, we should expect a continuation all the way to the upside. So for me, I'm expecting, it might not happen right now, but at some point, you should expect a complex pullback. Now, if market does a complex pullback, so if market does a complex pullback into this area that is here, so now we already know that, okay, what we're going to be looking at is possibility for buys. So now market would always push down price, most likely push down price into that area. So upon pushing down price into that area, then you know that, okay, we're expecting like a continuation setup. So for me, you already know, based on the virtue of what you've seen, that, okay, there'll be most likely a continuation trade that would happen and all of that. So for me, so for you to be able to get to this setup and all, you would set like a buy limit. You'd set like a buy limit around, most likely setting a buy limit around, you set the buy limit around the previous entry, which is like 30,071 region. So setting the buy limit around 30,071 region, you already know that, okay, we're expecting the continuation of like buys and all from that particular area. So now it's no longer like it's far-fetched, or you do not understand what to look out for when you're about to like take like a trade and all of that. So now you already know what you'll be looking out for like the setups and all. So for me, now that you're already conversant with what you can actually look out for in terms of like your setup and everything. Now we've already marked out like a refined entry that you're expecting market to pull back into that area and then continue like a push up momentum. Now you now sort of have to look at like other peers and understand the fact that waiting is actually part of the psychology. If you don't understand the ability to be able to like wait for quality setups, you're not going to make a dime in the Forex market. And I was saying something at the bootcamp. I said that most people come into the Forex space and they don't have a plan. Most people right now, when they deposit into their trading account, they don't have a plan. They don't have a reason why, okay, they're actually trading, or okay, this is how much money I want to make out of trading, or this is what I really want to do eventually. So most people, when they have money, they just deposit that money into their trading accounts. And then once they deposit that money into their trading accounts and all, that's all they do. They literally just deposit all of the money into their trading. And then once they deposit into their trading account, that's just it. So now, once they successfully do that, and now they've now deposited and all, they begin to have back-to-back losses, and then sometimes they have wins. So they are just basically in between. They don't have a plan. They are just doing what they are doing for doing sake. Now, you having a structure helps you. So now you can have multiple accounts, even on one particular trading account. For instance, now you can have like a high risk account, and you can also have like a low risk account, which means, for instance, if you're trading, you can easily say, okay, on this my account, I have an account where this is how much money I want to risk on a particular trade. Say, okay, on this account, I want to have an high risk account where I'm trading, and then on this account, I can easily say I'm risking a high amount of money, or I'm risking a particular amount of money. Then you now have another account where that account is like a conservative account. That account is not doing much, but it's able to give you 10 to 20% a month. So even if you understand the fact that 0.01 is not going to change the dynamics of your life, 0.01 is not going to bring you out of that half a standard life that you're living. You want to live better than you are currently living. You want to be among the less than 1%. In order for you to be able to live among the less than 1%, you need to also understand the fact that you need to be a high risk taker. Now, if you want to be a high risk taker, you need to be able to divide your setups, which means that, for instance, now you I have an account where you have high risk, and then you have an account where you have low risk. That way, you give yourself room to be able to bring out multiple versions of yourself, because you now have two different accounts where you can easily take high risk on one account and then low risk on another account. Most people come into the trading space and they do not have a plan. If you begin to take Forex as your business, you will definitely see a difference. So, but most people come in, they don't understand the plan, they over leverage, they take high risks on even accounts that they are supposed to keep as a conservative account. It is not every trading account that you have that you take high risk on them. Me personally, I have like 3 accounts where one account I take high risks, the second account I take more of like a conservative risk, and then the third account I take more of in between. So on some days I take conservative, on some days I take high risk. Now, the one that generates me the most money is actually the conservative account, because it still goes with the word slow and steady wins the race. And those kind of accounts now, you should always have high probability setups. Like, okay, setups, for instance, like this ones now that we've already marked out here. We already know that, okay, expecting markets to create a continuation of like the buy pattern. Market should push down price a bit. And also part of that psychology is being patient. Most people are not patient. So when they come into the trading space, they do not have a plan. They are just there for being there. Okay, let's just see how it goes. Everything will be okay, sha. We'll make money, sha. They are just doing it for sha. But once you have a plan and then you have a reason behind what you are doing, it helps you to have a structure. For instance, we all know that one of the pressing issues in Nigeria is not this is going to be uploaded on YouTube. So one of the pressing issues that we all know in Nigeria is not just the government that most people are complaining about. It's the fact that we individuals to have a very, very big role to play. And then most people don't have a structure. Do you get? Now, somebody asked a question. The person said, sir, should the account be the same quantity? Now, if I were you, I can decide that, okay, on my account and all, I can have 2 separate accounts where the first account can be maybe $100, and then maybe let's say you have $1,000. Now you can fund your conservative account with 70% of your startup capital, which means you're going to be funding your conservative account with like $700, and then your high risk account you can fund it with like $300. Now you are funding it with a lesser amount because there is a higher chance of your high risk account getting burnt, which means you have a higher chance of your high risk account getting blown. So why fund a big amount of money for an account that most likely will get blown? And then if it doesn't get blown, you stand a chance to double it. So you can decide to fund 70% on your conservative because you need more capital, because the more money you have on your conservative, the more your 10%, 20%, 30% begins to make sense. Do you get? So if you have maybe $1,000, now you now fund maybe $700 on your conservative account. Now on your conservative account, you can easily say, okay, I want to make 30-40% a month. 30-40% a month will mean you are working with like roughly about $300 a month, if you ask me, which for me is still like about a very, very decent amount of money. It's still okay on your conservative account. Now on your high risk account, your $300, you can say, I want to double this money from 300 to 1K. You can do whatever you actually want with that. But now you now have a good, thank you for saying you understand. Now you now have a plan and a structure around everything. So you're not just coming into the trading space without a plan. Now you have a plan, you have a system, and then you understand how to use that system to consistently make money for yourself. Do you get what I'm saying now? So you are no longer just in the system for being in the system's sake. Now you're fully aware. I've also been aware of understanding the fact that, okay, when I want to take a trade, first of all, I need to go on a higher time frame if I'm a day trader, specifically like a 4-hour time frame. Check the overall trend of the market. Now for gold has been buying. Now I've seen that the overall trend is a buy. I have to come to a lower time frame, maybe like a 2-hour, to mark out where I can get trades from and all. Now you can see that here we have like a possibility of getting a buy setup at 30.71 region, where we're expecting market to do a complex pullback back into that area. Now it's not a new thing. Now you are aware. After that, you can probably decide to look at another pair. Maybe let's look at GBP USD, for instance. And now the systems that you use in trading, you're supposed to automatically mark out those systems so that when market gives you a repetition of that system, you are not so shocked and you can easily trade it and all of that. So for me right now, I can see that market for if we change this to maybe a 4-hour time frame, you can see specifically on the 4-hour time frame that market, pushed up price at some point, but didn't break past this high. Nonetheless, for as long as this high is not broken, it still shows that we can get buy opportunities, and also it's giving market can push down price. And also, if this high was broken, you know that market is still pushing up. And also, if this low is broken, you know that the sales are valid. So for me, it's either GBP USD is currently, or maybe it's either GBP USD wants to push down price to an area where it will now continue to buy from. So for me, I'm still going to be looking at buy limit regions, and buy limit area would maybe be around here. I'm expecting market to push down price into, say, 1.28791 region, and then now push up price back all the way up. So now you've marked that setup, you drag this out. You drag this out to this area. So if market push down price there, you know that, okay, I'm expecting market to basically give me a continuation of the buy patterns. If I have a break below this area around 1.28576 region, if you have a break below that area, you know that what you're expecting is a continuation of the sales. Now you're fully aware. Now you've already done the knowledge part. But the part where you need to be patient to see how everything plays out is the psychology. Trading is 85% psychology. You can have the best strategy in the world and you're not still making. Why? Think about this. Everybody can have the same amount of deposits. You guys can deposit the same amount of money into your trading account, use the same lot size, enter the same trade, but you're not going to make the same amount of money. Why? Because everybody's not going to exit at the same area. Everybody's not going to have the same psychological threshold for holding losses and profits equally. So it's more of a mindset thing than any other thing you can possibly think of. And that's why, we continue to help you guys to create a proper structure. So all of these signals that I've done the analysis for you, from the gold setups to GBP USD setups, every single thing will be sent into our Forex signal room, and even our derivative signal room. We also have a derivative signal room. So if you want to access that, all you have to do is just send a message to myself or any of our representatives. Nobody's going to ask you for any money, and nobody's going to give you their personal bank accounts to credit, and so that you avoid scams. All right. So if you want to get started and all of that, you just have to send a message. Then we'll definitely reach out to you and then get you. Might not respond. If you want a quick response, you can text us on Telegram. And my account on Instagram is verified. My account on Telegram is also verified. Our company support is also verified on Telegram. So don't get scammed or somebody send you their personal account number and all of that. No. All right. And also, we're launching our app. We are launching our app in the month of April, where you guys get to have access to unending recorded webinars. We have stock trading, where we get to teach you guys on how you can get started with stock and all. And also, you get to access programming. Now we're going to be bringing you guys on board on UI UX, Python, Java, UI UX, Python, Java, front end, back end, everything you can possibly think of. And then also at some point, we'll also bring on marketing, on how you can become a good social media marketer, depending on anything. So the app is a all-purpose app, gives you access to varieties of courses and all of that. And then you get a certificate of completion. You get access to a one-on-one 24/7 support team. And also you get a life coach, which means every week you have somebody that constantly checks up on you, and then you can have like an enclosed chat with that person, so you can feel free to express yourself, because we know that one of the pressing challenges that people go through is having somebody that they can actually talk to. So we are bringing you that, somebody that you can talk to, and we're also licensed by the NDPC to do that. So that way now it's closed, you're not having a situation where you have breach of privacy and all of that. No. All right. So I pray that God continues to help every single one of you. I feel like a quick prayer that in as much as you guys need me, I also do need you. I genuinely do appreciate you guys for being consistent. I think we have almost 100 people on this live, for being consistent and all. I do appreciate you guys, and then your efforts really, really count. So please make sure that this new week, as you're going out and all of that, please continue to stay safe. I know you're all big men and women, but let people know where you're going at all, and make sure that you stay protected, take care of yourselves and all of that. I do appreciate you guys, and you guys are very special. So I'm going to see you guys next coming Monday for another live session. So if you want to access all of our services, and if you want to start Forex also, you can just check www.goodelededeals.com. You can access all of our webinars, at least a certain level there, and then you can get started and all. I need you to keep a very, very positive mind this new week. So you have to keep a very, very positive mind this new week. I need to understand the fact that the world is waiting for you and the world is rooting for you to be the best in everything. So you just keep pushing, guys. And I know that this is just the start of a new beginning. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate you guys too. Thank you, 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 thank you too. So I'll see you guys next coming Monday. Bye for now and enjoy the rest of your week. Safe, guys.